Welcome to Lesson 11.2, Comparing and Ordering Integers. Today we're going to talk about how to compare integers and how to order them. It's a little more difficult now because we're throwing negative numbers into the mix, so we really have to go back and think about how far away the number is from 0. So if we were going to order the following integers from least to greatest, we have to look at a number line and think of how far away is the number from 0, and is it positive or is it negative? All of your negative numbers should be your smaller numbers, and all of your positive numbers should be your bigger numbers. It's a little bit opposite because when you're talking about -4 and -1, those need to be your two smallest numbers because 3 is positive. So 3 has to be your greatest integer. But now -1 and -4, it's a little bit opposite. Because -1 is closer to 0, it is actually bigger than -4. If you think of it in terms of money, if you owe somebody $4, you have more money than, or you have less money than somebody who owes somebody $1, and you still have less money than somebody who has $3. This takes a little bit of time to get used to, but if you just think of it in terms of being backwards, so if the negatives, the bigger the number it is, the smaller it actually is, and with positives, the bigger the number is, the bigger it actually is. Okay, so if we're talking about sea level, you want to look at the highest height. Well, if it's negative, if it's below sea level, it's not going to be very big. So our highest number is going to be 10,000 feet. Our smallest number is going to be the number that's furthest away from sea level, but backwards. 500 feet is actually closer to sea level than -1,375 feet. So this would be our smallest number. Our next smallest would be the -500 feet because you're 500 feet below sea level. And then 2,000 feet because you're 2,000 feet above sea level. And then 7,500 feet above sea level. So we talk about this in terms of money. So if you're ordering from greatest to least, well, it looks like -15 should be our biggest, but because it's negative, it is not our biggest number. It's actually going to be our smallest because this is owing somebody $15. So the biggest number we have here is positive $12, somebody who has the $12 in their pocket. The next largest amount is going to be the positive $7 because this is somebody who actually has $7 in their pocket. The next would be $3. And then somebody who owes $7. And then somebody who owes $12. And last but not least, somebody who owes $15. So like I said before, this part up here should all make sense to you. You've been working on this for a while. The negatives, it's kind of like it goes backwards. Okay, so I want you to go ahead and try this one on your own. It's a little bit more difficult because it is a word problem. A ship wrecked off the coast of Myrtle Beach. The divers discovered a treasure chest at 17 feet below the water's surface, a cannonball at 10 feet below the water's surface, and the ship was found 22 feet below the surface. If I were a diver, in what order would I discover these things? So you're looking at this and you're trying to figure out what would I have found first, what would I have found second, and what would I have found third. Pause, try this on your own, and when you come back, we'll go over the answers. Alright, because you're diving, the closer the number is to 0, the faster you're going to get to it because these are negative numbers because it's below the surface, below sea level, below the water surface. Right, so the first thing that you would have found was the cannonball, because that was at -10 feet, and then you would have found the treasure chest, at 17 feet, and then you would have found the ship at negative 22 feet. I know that they didn't say negative in here, but you have to read the context clues in the below the surface. And the surface part was just to help you remember that the surface would be your 0. Right, so for your homework tonight, I want you to post on Edmodo. I want you to use your greater than, less than symbols and post your answers to Edmodo, letting me know which number is bigger and which number is smaller. Again, if you have any questions, make sure to post them or write them down so we can go over them in class.